I always thought biology was like someone in a lab coat hunched over a microscope, right?
Yeah, pretty standard image.
Totally. But I was at this dinner party recently, and oh, this totally changed my view.
What happened? Dinner party intrigue?
Haha, not quite. But I'm chatting with someone. Turns out they're a curator of horticulture.
Now that's a title you don't hear every day.
Right. Blew my mind. I had no idea that even fell under, like, the biology umbrella. They work with botanical gardens, even help save endangered plants.
It just shows how limited our view of a whole profession can be. And when it comes to biology, it's not just about perception, it's the reality of the field.
Like with this RoleCatcher data we're going through today.
Exactly. This stuff really highlights the diversity.
Biologist is just the tip of the iceberg, really.
It's the jumping off point.
Right. You got aquaculture biologists, then there's biophysicists doing their thing at a whole other level, even food biotechnologists. I mean, the variety is incredible.
And what's fascinating is that some of the most important work is happening in areas we might not even consider. The RoleCatcher research pointed out the role of botanical specialists in medicine.
Oh, interesting. How so?
They're literally on the front lines of drug discovery. These are the folks finding new medications derived from, say, plants.
So instead of a lab, it's back to nature for them.
In a way, yes. That rare orchid in the rainforest could hold the key to some life-saving treatment. Who knows what's out there waiting to be discovered?
I'm already thinking, where do I sign up for some of these biology careers? Like, how cool does that curator of horticulture job sound? But what does it actually take to get into this field?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher gets really practical. They break down the skills and knowledge you need, and it's a mix of, well, what you'd expect and then some curveballs.
Okay, give me the insider info. What do they say?
So obviously you need that solid biology foundation. Genetics, ecology, maybe the botany route, could be zoology, something like that. But RoleCatcher emphasizes it's not just the biology itself, it's what they call transferable skills.
Right, like communication, problem solving, all that good stuff. But how does that fit into a science-heavy field?
Think of it this way. You're a researcher looking at data on, say, climate change impacting a certain bird species. You need those analytical chops to interpret everything, but then you've got to communicate it clearly. Writing a paper, presenting at a conference.
So you're not just a scientist, you're a storyteller too.
Exactly. That's where communication, even project management, those become essential for a biologist, which some people might not realize.
And I bet those skills only become more important as you move up in your career, right?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher actually maps out the typical career path. It's pretty interesting to see how responsibilities change at each level.
Let's break it down. Say you're fresh out of school, all fired up about, I don't know, rainforest orchids or something. Where do you even start?
You're probably looking at an assistant biologist role, maybe junior biologist. You'd be helping out senior researchers, doing field work, lab work, really building those foundational skills.
Like an internship, but with more, I don't know, responsibility. And then from there, you climb the ladder.
Right. As you get more experience, you might become a research associate, maybe a project biologist. RoleCatcher points out how at this level you get more independence. You might lead your own research project, maybe present at a conference, or even publish your findings.
So you're really starting to make a name for yourself. What's the next step up?
This is where it gets exciting. You could become a senior biologist or maybe a research scientist. What we see from RoleCatcher's research is this usually means leading bigger research projects, maybe even securing grants and mentoring other biologists. It becomes a real leadership position.
Wow, that's a lot more responsibility, but also sounds super rewarding. What about those at the very top? What are they doing?
At the top, you're talking principal scientist, maybe even a chief scientific officer, usually in a larger organization or institution. RoleCatcher gives examples of people like this who are basically setting the research agenda for a whole department, maybe even collaborating internationally or even influencing policy.
From studying birds to shaping national policy? That's incredible. But that's a long journey, and I imagine pretty competitive these days, especially with AI changing the hiring game.
That's a whole other challenge, and it's something we should definitely talk about more in detail.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Honestly, that whole AI thing kind of freaks me out. Like, how are you supposed to stand out to a computer?
It feels very mysterious.
Total black box.
Yeah, but RoleCatcher gets that, and they really focus on making AI hiring less scary, giving you more control.
Okay, I like the sound of that. How do they do it?
They've actually designed their system to work with the AI. So, like, their system can read job descriptions, but not just for keywords. It actually figures out the underlying skills and experience that employers really want.
So it's like translating corporate speak.
Exactly. It's like having a secret decoder ring. And then, once it knows what the AI is looking for, it helps you make your application stronger. Their CV analysis tool is great for this.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So you upload your CV, and it gives you feedback based on those specific jobs you're interested in. It's tailored advice, basically.
So it's like having a career coach who speaks AI.
Huh! Exactly. And it's not just about tricking the algorithm, it's about being proactive, which RoleCatcher emphasizes. They have this skills gap tool.
Okay, skills gap, what's that?
So let's say you're really into becoming one of those botanical specialists we talked about, right?
The plant hunters.
Right.
Mm.
You can use the platform to see what skills are super in demand for those roles. And then you can see if you need to, like, learn some new stuff or beef up your existing skills.
So it's like, don't just wait for the job. Go get the skill that'll get you noticed.
Yes. Be proactive. And here's the coolest part. They have this get discovered feature, right? So you're not just submitting an application blindly. You build a whole profile, and employers can find you.
Whoa, seriously?
Seriously. Imagine someone's looking for a biologist with your exact experience.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking for someone with that horticulture background, just like your friend from the dinner party.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher could actually connect you two directly.
That's amazing. It's like a scientific matchmaking service.
That's a great way to put it. And the more niche your skills, the more valuable that becomes.
This is blowing my mind. But is this only for, like, seasoned biologists? Can someone just starting out use it?
That's the beauty of it. They have a free version, a freemium model. You can check out careers, make your profile, even try some AI features without paying anything.
Wow, so there's no reason not to at least check it out. Well, for anyone listening who's now super intrigued by all this, maybe a little jealous of my curator of horticulture friend, go check out RoleCatcher. It might just be your secret weapon in this whole biology career world.
I couldn't agree more.
This has been fascinating. I feel like I had no idea how cool and diverse the biology field really is.
It's constantly evolving, too. Who knows what new stuff will be happening in a few years, even.
And that's what I love about these deep dives. You know, it's not just about what we know now, but what's possible in the future.
Exactly.
Well, until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and maybe you'll be the one with the super cool biology job we're all talking about.